Care fraud scheme worth $400 million.
This 2 years after Contact 5 investigator Katie Legrone exposed how the scam worked.
To who? You have to have done it to someone, but there's no effort at all to uncover that.
I thought he should have been ashamed of himself. Then I watched Floyd Money Mayweather with Jim Gray. And I said, wait a minute, I smell something. Something seems a bit fishy.
No, money is what you
okay?
smelled.
I smelled something.
Joe Rogan was visibly shocked during a recent podcast episode as breaking news surfaced that boxing icon Floyd Mayweather is being sued for his alleged role in a staggering $42 million fraud scheme. Known for his candid opinions and deep dives into celebrity controversies, Rogan couldn't hide his disbelief as details of the lawsuit emerged, accusing Mayweather of orchestrating a massive financial scam involving false investments and deceptive business partnerships.
Mayweather. He's the only guy who's been able to just be balling out of control, constantly flashing money, $1 million watches, a fleet of super expensive cars, and still freaks everybody out. Yeah, the thing about Floyd is he never lost his discipline. Floyd would famously run home from the nightclub. So he would go out in Vegas, he'd be partying, it would look like a party, he's drinking water, and then he would have his driver drive, and with his pants on, jeans on, he would jog home. And the dude was always trained.
Joe Rogan, a leading voice in combat sports commentary, has spent years analyzing Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s boxing career and fighting style. His insights offer a well-rounded perspective on Mayweather's evolution as a boxer and his legacy in the sport.
He fought Logan Paul. Logan Paul weighs 200+ pounds.
And he turned the shit out of Logan Paul's neck. Like
Crazy.
Like wow. And I think he held him up like, hey man, don't fall because you're gonna mess the money up.
If they were the same size, I think Floyd would have knocked him out. Logan was so big.
Oh,
he was so much bigger than it.
But them shots though was
it's so crazy to see a guy who is the best boxer of all time having a fight with this super athletic, gigantic YouTube kid. I mean, look at the size difference. It's insane.
In the early years of his career, Mayweather earned the nickname Pretty Boy due to his defensive brilliance, which allowed him to avoid taking major damage in the ring. Rogan has pointed out that during this time, Mayweather demonstrated incredible speed and offensive skill, frequently overwhelming opponents with rapid-fire combinations. This period showcased his dominance through a blend of aggression and technical finesse.
Forget is that Floyd went through a big transition of his own. If you go back to the early parts of his career and you watch when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a much more aggressive fighter and he would put himself in danger much more. And then when he became Money Mayweather, just got so much more brilliant defensively. And then he became the guy that you see shutting out Canelo Alvarez, stopping all these guys, just shutting everything down. He just became this defensive wizard.
As Mayweather advanced in his career, he adopted the money persona, shifting toward a more defensive and strategic fighting style. Rogan has praised this transition, emphasizing Mayweather's ability to minimize damage while maintaining control of each bout. Rogan remarked, "That's why, for my money, Floyd Mayweather is the best ever, because he's the guy that got hit the least. He's exactly the right amount of aggressive to win. The crazy thing about Floyd is that he stands right in front of you, and you still can't land a punch on him."
Floyd Mayweather used to be having these crazy workouts and he would crack open a Pepsi and people were like, what the is he doing? Like, he's crazy. That guy never drank, never partied, never was out of shape, never got fat, would run home from the club at 2 o'clock in the morning. If boxing is hit and don't get hit, who's better than Floyd? Zero people. He definitely cracked him at the end of that round and wobbled him. And then it was right at the bell. And so then Floyd got back on his bike and started outboxing him.
Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Every time boxing come on, you don't bring up Muhammad Ali name. You don't bring up Mike Tyson name. You always bring up Floyd Mayweather name because I'm still the face of boxing.
What do you think about Floyd talking about greater than Ali? He's very delusional. Listen, he can't take his kid to school by himself. And he's talking about he's great. He's a little scared man. Greatness is not guarding yourself from the people. Greatness is being accepted by the people.
Ali Bomaye. That means Ali kill him.
Joe Rogan believes many people dislike Floyd Mayweather Jr. because of his extravagant displays of wealth and brash public persona. On the Joe Rogan Experience, he noted that Mayweather often flaunts his lavish lifestyle, boasting million-dollar watches, private jets, and opulent homes, which can come off as arrogant and stir envy among fans. Rogan explained, "They like watching him fight because they hate him. He creates envy, and you want him to lose, but he's not going to." Still, Rogan acknowledged Mayweather's impressive discipline and work ethic behind the scenes, suggesting that his public image is a calculated part of his overall strategy.
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate him.
I feel that disappointment that the fans felt that maybe you didn't get the best Manny Pacquiao that night?
We're not going to do that. We're not going to talk about that. You was one of the guys that believed in Pacquiao.
I did.
Okay. So now we don't want you to back out the block. And I told you before, that was easy work. So if you believe in Pacquiao, you need to go back and say, you need to sit down and do a story and say, you know what? I believe in Pacquiao, and it's his fault. It's not Mayweather's fault, because Mayweather did what he always do. Be a calculated fighter, be a smart fighter, and find a way to win.
And I did that because I said that although there was a problem with his shoulder, whether it existed or not, I always said there was no. Wait.
Floyd was great, but he didn't want smoke with Winky. Yeah, he didn't want smoke with Winky. He didn't want smoke with Triple G either. But there are people who look at that situation and be like, I mean, that's crazy. But that's what the great ones do. They do crazy shit. But Floyd did enough crazy stuff, though. Listen, I don't have that much criticism towards Floyd. I just don't think he's as great as everyone say. He's the greatest ever. That's silly talk to me. But he was jaw-dropping great. The impact of Floyd is my thing, and that's not criticism on Floyd. That's criticism on followers. So everybody followed what they perceived to be his blueprint. That's my criticism. It's never Floyd.
During his exhibition match against John Gotti III in Mexico City, Floyd Mayweather made headlines by replacing the referee mid-fight after a disputed call. The original referee had warned Mayweather for an allegedly illegal strike, prompting Mayweather to confront and push the referee, demanding his removal. A new referee was brought in, and the fight resumed, with Mayweather being unofficially declared the winner.
Floyd Mayweather just got done with a boxing match against John Gotti III, and while in the boxing match, specifically in the second round, Floyd Mayweather kicked out a ref, and they replaced it with a new one because the ref took too long pausing the fight. Let me know in the comments if this is one of the craziest things you've seen in a boxing match.
In another segment, Joe Rogan highlighted Mayweather's power and influence by recounting how Floyd allegedly dismissed a referee in the middle of a fight. Rogan stressed that only someone of Mayweather's stature in the boxing world could pull off such a move. The incident serves as yet another example of how Floyd's financial and cultural clout permeates every aspect of his career.
The referee said Floyd Mayweather hit him behind the head. So Floyd fired the referee in the middle of the bout. Floyd throws this punch, and he's 100% correct. The punch landed the side of the head. It's a right hook. It's a perfect punch. And the referee was saying, watch the back of the head. He's like, what the f are you talking about? And so he kicks the guy out, and they bring in a different referee who finishes the fight. It was insanity.
According to Rogan, Mayweather's unmatched competitive spirit stems from his upbringing. Both his father and uncle were intensely competitive, instilling in him the drive to push himself in all areas of life. This foundation helped shape Mayweather into the dominant fighter he became at his peak. However, that same competitiveness appears to extend into his approach to business and wealth accumulation today.
Just look at boxing in terms of like how often you get hit versus how often do you hit the other guy. He's the best ever. The way him and his uncle and his father talk, I imagine they were always super competitive from the time they were young.
Yeah.
Like he grew up being they're super competitive. They're competitive about talking shit. They're competitive about all kinds of things. So it's like that hive, like growing up with that all the time, and the boxing skill.
Mayweather has claimed that he earns $300 million per month through strategic investments, particularly in real estate. He stated, "In 32 months, I put myself in a position, with a smart business team, to make $300 million a month. It all started from boxing." While Mayweather has undoubtedly made massive earnings from high-profile bouts and exhibitions, financial experts question the credibility of such consistent monthly income. They argue that maintaining an income of hundreds of millions per month would require unprecedented and extremely lucrative ventures.
Floyd Mayweather says he makes $300 million a month, which is $3.6 billion a year. He makes more money than Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all of those guys. So I say all that to say this. The money that Canelo was looking for, they can easily come up with that money. Floyd Mayweather got it.
Well, Listen, let me put it this way to you. If he makes what did he say, 300 million a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm 6'4" and 240. And I know I'm 5'8" and a half and 240. So there you go. There's no way. There's that. If he makes 3 million a month on his investments, that's a lot. 36 million a year. That's a lot. So I know guys that are worth, $500-600 million, plenty of them, and they don't make $36 million a year, let alone 300 million a month. So there you go.
Mayweather may be exaggerating or misrepresenting his role in certain deals to uphold his image as a wealthy mogul. Financial analysts further note that transactions of this scale typically involve institutional investors or major development firms, not individual buyers lacking a transparent paper trail. This skepticism raises critical questions about the authenticity of Mayweather's financial claims and whether his extravagant lifestyle is backed by real assets or simply curated. Public relations. For now, the truth behind the $400 million figure remains uncertain, and scrutiny continues to intensify.
Mayweather Jr., there's a story circulating that Business Insider did talking about this $400 million property deal that he had been discussing here in New York City. But now, according to Business Insider, it's not what you think it is. They said there's no evidence there's been a sale of these properties, and it's 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan. Here is what Floyd Mayweather had said at the time on a video that he posted on his Instagram.
I love bringing the people into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me. Guess what? You can do the same.
All right. Well, now we're trying to figure out what happened, right, with Business Insider. So according to another update, he did ink a $402 million deal for a Black Spruce portfolio. When he said that it was all his and no one invested, he meant no one was funding his part of the investment but him. And so I think this is something where maybe he owns a piece of this or shares in it, but it hasn't changed hands because the majority owner is still the same owner that it was before. I'm trying to understand what happened with this, but I know there's a story that's circulating, so just putting it out there. Whew, it's a tough one. I'm trying to understand as a real estate person myself what exactly he is communicating when he's saying that he owns this, because they're trying to make it seem like he doesn't, but what it seems like is that he owns shares of these buildings, and it's a larger, it's part of an investment that he did on his own.
A member of Floyd Mayweather's team, speaking off the record, added to the growing skepticism by revealing that there is no known investment partner involved in the supposed Manhattan real estate deal. This directly contradicts public speculation that Mayweather might be part of a joint venture or silent partnership with a larger firm. Instead, the insider claimed Floyd is presenting himself as the sole buyer, raising serious questions in real estate circles given the scale of the transaction.
Team spoke off the record, and they actually tried to modify the story a little bit to get ahead of it. So it went from we own all the buildings with no partners to now their story is changing up a little bit. So they reached out to the Housing Partnership, a spokesperson. Now the Housing Partnership of NYC is a nonprofit group that is a partner in a majority of these like really huge like property deals. And it helps, the person buying it to qualify for tax breaks and grants and preserve the affordability of the portfolio apartments, right? If you're buying, affordable housing, then you're going to go through the NYC Housing Partnership. That never happened, okay? So the spokesperson says the Housing Partnership has not been advised of any sale, pending sale, or change in ownership. Generally, the partnership would be advised of the transfer and would be party to the transfer. That has not occurred. A person directly... Now, here's where Mayweather get on that BS, bruh. All right, here's where the shady business starts.
Joe Rogan has consistently praised Floyd Mayweather's boxing style, emphasizing his unmatched defensive skills and strategic ring intelligence. Rogan frequently points out Mayweather's talent for controlling the tempo of a fight, making opponents miss and capitalizing on their mistakes. He highlights Mayweather's exceptional footwork, timing, and overall ring IQ, as key elements that enable him to outmaneuver even the most aggressive fighters. Rogan views his style as a technical masterclass in the art of hitting without getting hit.
You know, one of the things that people forget is that Floyd went through a big transition of his own. If you go back to the early parts of his career and you watch when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a much more aggressive fighter and he would put himself in danger much more. And then when he became Money Mayweather, like as it got later and later in his life, he just got so much more brilliant defensively. And then he became the guy that you see shutting out Canelo Alvarez, stopping all these guys, just shutting everything down. He just became this defensive wizard to the point where you'd see world-class fighters like Sugar Shane Mosley. Once he recovered, he didn't really know what to do with Floyd. Floyd just had the answers to his style. He had figured him out.
This disciplined, calculated style has not only kept Mayweather undefeated, but also redefined what it means to be a defensive genius in boxing. Rogan's admiration underlines Mayweather's legacy as one of the sport's all-time greats, blending finesse, intellect, and a relentless commitment to excellence.